Oh, hold on. Hello, class. How y'all doing?
Morning.
Morning. How's everything going so far?
It's a good start to the day.
Oh, all right. I'm talking about my program, my chapter.
It's doing good. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I guess we could get started. Those who go, I guess, come in a little later. Anybody with any questions? I'll entertain questions, and I'll go over some stuff, that I want to go over. Any questions? Signing on the roll. Everybody sign the roll. I'll look at that too. Let everybody see if they registered and how to go and sign the roll. Don't turn this off. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Do you want to talk to me after class? I'm the student who requested an extension due to a family emergency on one of the assignments.
Oh yeah, okay. Hey, what we're gonna do though? I'm gonna look at the program. I'm gonna kind of show you some stuff with the program, and like I say, I'm gonna try to get feedback from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then based on that, I might just open it up for everybody a couple of days or whatever.
Okay.
I get a little feedback. Yeah, sorry to hear about that, man. How's she doing? Doing pretty better?
She's good now. Yes, sir.
That's good. That's all right. I'm glad of that, man. Glad of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess the 4 people, let's go. All right. So any questions? And like I say, when I start, anytime you want to ask a question, just interject. I'll just stop and answer your question and then continue on. So don't be afraid to stop me at any time. All right. So the first thing I'll do is let's look at the website. All right. So now this is the syl9.com main page. But if you see here, you see 194. All right, 1943. And here you would have the name of the course, the book, whatever the author, the ISBN, the description of the course, my name and information, and even links. And I tell my email address. And I tell students, I give these links because what happens is most students, they only access Lola and Canvas through BRCC's website. But if you notice, if you look at the URLs, these links are not actually associated with BRCC. So if BRCC is down, their website is down, and the only way you get to these is through BRCC, then you won't be able to get to them, even though they are still up. So I give you the link so that you can go to my webpage and go directly to the server for Canvas and the server for Lola. All right, if BRCC is down. So like I said, that's just a little helpful hint. If Baton Rouge Community College website is ever down, try going to the other links through this. But obviously BRCC information, their calendar and whatever, that'll be down. But Lola and Canvas probably will be up. Now, if look here, you have the syllabus, which the syllabus is also in Canvas. All right, this is the syllabus, and hopefully you've read through the syllabus and saw the things that you need to know. If you need accommodations, you need to get me those letters out so that I can make the proper accommodations. Also, if you look here, right there, but if you look here, you'll see the AS degree. AS degree at BRCC, this is the checklist. So even though we want you to get advised, this is the checklist for the AS degree, all right? not trans, you can still transfer to a college with this degree, but you may not have all of the specified requirements to become a junior. But we do have agreements with LSU, Southeastern, UL, and we do also have one with Southern. All right, so that you can follow those tracks, and if you follow those, you can enter into those colleges as a junior. So if you look at LSU, if you look here, this is the checklist for LSU. It's somewhat similar to our BRCC AS, but it have minor changes in that. With a BRCC's degree, you don't need to take this MAT 2909. I mean 2904. You may not. You may be able. No, that I think that may be the only difference. That and maybe a humanities. So make sure if you being advised, let the advisor know, one of our the computer science instructors, let us know that which college you plan to transfer to, or if you're not transferring at all. It kind of helps us to guide you through. Southeastern, we have checklists for the different degrees that you can get to go to Southeastern, or checklist, all right? And even UL, all right? So now, if you look here, this is my information, and this is my email, and like I say, those links. I wouldn't follow this too strictly, but this is pretty much the assignments for the chapter. But make sure you go to Canvas to look at it. All right, make sure you get to Canvas. This is like the notes, Oh no, I took it down. All right, but I did send you a copy. I sent you a copy of the 8th edition of the notes. Now, to sign the roll, all right. To sign the roll, first you need to do you need to register with my website, and then sign the roll. So what you would do, you'd click on that link, and then you would click register. Input your information, your name, first name, last name, first name, last name, your major. Section is 1. Semester is summer 8, the summer 8 weeks, and 2021. Here it asks for the last 4 digits of your BRL number. That's something that hopefully you can always readily find, so that, because it's going to create your login from that. Then you create yourself a password and put in an email address that you would like to be contacted at, and I'll have it. I'm not an email geek. I only email you if you email me, or if I notice you didn't come to class or something, or what's happening, whatever. What happens when you click register is going to create a login ID for you with the first initial, the initial of your first name, the initial of your last name, the last 4 digits, dash, and then the section, which is 1. All right. And once that happens, now you can go back and you can sign the roll. All right. You sign the roll every Tuesday, any time of the day on Tuesday. Make sure you sign it. So what happens is you click here, you click on register/sign roll, and then you click on student utilities, and then sign today's roll. These I have to go back and remodify my code because I have to upgrade it to the newer version of PHP. But don't worry about that. I'll have to work on that. So here, I'll type in this ID. I think it might be working, and a password to sign the roll, right? And then I'll click continue.
Professor.
Yes.
We can't see your screen.
I'm not sharing my screen, right?
Yeah, you're not.
Wow, and I do that all the time. Let me share my screen, man. Wow. Why you ain't stop me? Huh? Hello?
Well, you were on a roll, so I didn't
Yeah,
want
but
to
no. Y'all gotta
I
stop.
felt kind of bad to stop you.
I told y'all could interject at any time. All right. So let's kind of go back. 194. All right. Here is what the syllabus. If you ever want to get to it outside of the Canvas, as on the website, um, uh, you can do the doc or the PDF, how to create visual and execute a file in Visual Studio. This is like the lower version. So, but here, these are the checklists that I was talking about. All right. So, like I said, if you was going to LSU, click on this. All right. This is the checklist. All right. To get an AS degree. And when you transfer, if you've completed all this, they will accept, they have an agreement with us. They accept all these classes and you will enter as a junior. All right. And like I said, the other schools also, UL, Southeastern, and also Southern University. Now, like this was the assignments I was telling you about. But like I said, make sure you click on the link on Canvas. Some of them will take you here, but like I say, follow Canvas. All right. Now, the book, author, ISBN, the course description, my name and information. Here we have those links I was telling you about. This Canvas links and Lola links. All right. But this here, register. All right. When you register, you click register, type in your information here, and it creates your login. All right. Once it creates the login, like I say, now it'll take you here. You can do student utilities, but no, I don't want to go here. But most times, if you're just coming in, click here, then you'll go down to sign, register, sign, roll, and then you click student utilities, and then you do sign today's roll. Now, sign today's roll, you type in your login. Notice first initial, last 4 digits, dash, and then the 1, and which would be somewhat same format for you all. And then the password that you gave it, and you click continue. Now, this is what happens. It brings up the monthly calendar for that of the current date. All right. And all you would do is say click to sign roll button below to sign the roll. So if I do that, if I click here, notice what it tells me. Cannot sign roll on Monday. You must sign a roll on Tuesday. So anytime Tuesday, you can sign a roll. Now, here's got a link. Somebody said it wasn't working on it. Let's see. That, oh, there you go. To download the Visual Studio 17. So you can download it from there, the Visual Studio 2017, if you wanted to. All right. Now, what I was going to say about signing a roll. Now, some people say, oh, well, Mr. Bass, I don't need to sign the roll, whatever. But if you're getting financial aid, it's important that you sign the roll. Being, if you getting financial aid and you do not ever sign the roll, and the teacher reports you as just coming in the first day, financial aid or the federal government will ask for their money back because they feel that you didn't fulfill the commitment of at least trying to go to class. You just took the money and didn't go to class. Also, say you didn't do well in the class, and for whatever reason something happened, and you're doing an appeal, and you might give whatever reason for your appeal, and then when they look, they may ask me for or ask to look at my roll for you as a student. And they look at the roll and say, well, this student has never didn't even attempt to go to class. Then your appeal might be denied. So depending, like I say, you want to sign the roll, make sure you sign the roll each day so that, like say, you don't run into some of those issues. All right. And so that's how you sign the roll. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you who all have signed the roll. Let's see, or registered to sign and sign the first day. So here I can look at the roll. I could always look at the attendance and see who all. So these are all the people that have actually registered with the website to sign the roll. These are the people on 6/1 who have, with the letter P here, have signed the roll, all right? So tomorrow, I'll be able to check to see who all are registered and who all signed the roll, all right? So make sure you sign the roll. Make sure if you got problems registering, contact me. I even, like I say, have, if I'm gonna go back, even have on the website, if you go here and then you go down to how-to videos, all right? You go to the how-to is a playlist, registering for the class, all right? Attendance, signing up the roll. So it's just a video showing you what you must do to signing the roll, the process for signing the roll, process for registering. And this is just some other videos creating a data file in Visual Studio, which you were supposed to do in your first assignment, creating a file, a video C++ file, and also creating a data file in online GDB. All right, so those are just some how-to videos. All right, any questions? Anybody with any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, all right, so now let's look at Canvas, all right? And like I say, you could get the Canvas several ways, clicking here, but I'm already in Canvas. And so what I tell students is, and let's go to the student view, all right? I'll click on the student view. Now, when you look at the student view, sometimes, or most times, where is it? No, I don't have it. But you click, I would tell students when they ask me, when's the semester? And I'm in Canvas, what do I click on? If I were you, I would always click on modules. When you click on modules, modules will show you all the things that you have. And what I did, I broke my modules down into weeks. The first week, this is all of your assignments that you need to do. Second week, this is all of the assignments that you have to do. Third week, this is all the assignments that you have to do. Fourth week, so I've broken it down into weeks, all right? And I'll get down to the 8 week in a little while to show you what I'm doing now. Now, so let's look at beginning assessment. I want you to, that's 193. I'm in the wrong class. Wait a minute, class. I'm in the wrong class. But it's broken down the same way. But let me change courses. Let me get out of yeah, let me go back to 194. Come on. 194. Yeah. All right. So 194. So if I click on student view, all right, click on student view. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to remove a lot of stuff, all that. So normally I would tell you click on modules. On syllabus, when you click on syllabus, it'll give you all this information here, and most of these links here, they don't have the dates actually shown, but they got the dates on the side. But if you click on modules, I'm gonna have to rearrange this on that side. You got the miscellaneous, all right? Miscellaneous, hotspots around Baton Rouge. That was given to us back in 2020, all right? I have streamed lectures, all right? You click on that, and in 2020, I had some lectures that was done, so you're able to look at those lectures, and hopefully they can help you in understanding parts of the chapter and also maybe even doing the assignments that I have available for you to do, all right? And you just click on it, and it should be a playlist of lectures in YouTube, all right? So it's just a playlist of the lectures for that semester, all right? And like I say, you'd have to probably try to go through them to see. Some of them got the chapter on and some of them don't. So like I say, you'd have to, but they are in the chronological order. So you can kind of gauge as to how you're going to find something based on the chapters. All right, so now if I go back to modules, when I go back to modules, all right, I have job opportunities. Job opportunities, if you look, there's a networking job available. That was published or given to us last week. And so the what that is, career services send this out to us so that we can give it to you all. And like I say, if you feel you qualified enough, they are hiring, they're paying $18 to $21 an hour, I guess, based on your expertise. If you have some kind of idea of setting up routers and access points and whatever, then you may want to apply. Like I say, then they may train. So, you could call the number, this number here to check. So like I say, don't be afraid. Until you step out and try, you'll never know exactly what it is you qualified to do and are even capable of doing. So like I say, just call, check it out, see whatever, and ask questions. But what I'll do over time, as they give them to me, I'll keep adding them so you'll be able to scroll down through to see if there's other jobs available throughout the semester. All right. Also, research opportunities. If they have research opportunities, I don't think I have any now. I'll post that. You'll be able to click to see what research opportunities are available. The Proctorio, which is the monitoring software that we use, you will have to add the Proctorio extension to your Chrome web browser. You will have to have Chrome, all right? You can't use a Chromebook, but you have to have Chrome to actually do the take the test through the Proctorio, all right? And if you ever taken the test and click on take test and it asks you for a password, or it say please enter password, your Proctorio is not, the extension is not in your browser. You'd have to go click on it and then when you click, then click here and then go through the process of getting the extension added back into Chrome and then go ahead on and take the test. All right. And sometimes you may have to restart your computer once you do it just to get everything back straight. So here's the first week of information that you need to work on. And then what? And for following week, which is this week, you have test one. Test one was open on Sunday, and you have until Saturday to complete it. Well, not scratch that, not to complete it. You can take it on Monday through Saturday. So you can take it either Monday, you can take it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So you have that window to take it. Now, you also have 2 opportunities to take it. So you might take it on today, and depending on your score, you say, well, I'm gonna have to go back and look at, review my notes or whatever. And then you come back and you take it again. You can take it the Saturday, the Friday, or whenever. So you got 2 opportunities to take all the tests. I do it like that on all the tests. Even the quizzes. You take the quiz once, and then you can take it a second time. I just do that for tests and quizzes. Now, if you notice, every assignment, you have a documentation that you have to submit with it. Now, I think I have it in announcements. No, I have it in the document. If you look in the documents, and this is very important, class. It says this assignment, oh no, not that. It says the program documentation, I want it done in Word document, all right? Please have the document content listed in the following order. That's important, class. I want it in that order. Whichever order that you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. I want it in that order. Starting with each listed item on a new page, cover page. All of the cover page information is on a page by itself. I don't want the statement of the problem on the same page as the cover page. Everybody got that? Cover page consists of the course number, instructor's name, your name, and the due date. You can have more information, you can have images, that's you. But I want at least this information. This should be one page. The next page should have the statement of the problem. Statement of the problem consists of the problem that I gave you. What is the program to do? Write a program to blah, 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 whatever. The statement of the problem also includes the input format, the output format, instructions that I give for whatever. All of the instructions for the assignment is the statement of the problem. When you pass this documentation on to somebody else who may have to revise this information, the statement of the problem would be all the information that I gave you so they can look at it to see what was done previously, all right? Whether it take up 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, okay? All that information, all right, from on those pages. But when you come into the name and the content of your source file, that would be your C++ file. That starts on a new page. Each numbered item starts on a new page. I don't want to have to go and say, oh, this start half of this page, whatever. No, new page, whatever. If it's 5 pages, my 5 pages, then the next numbered item starts on a new page. All right. Now, grant you some data, some documents, or depending on where we're at in the course, you may not have an input file. Well, you don't put anything, you just put input file with a blank page. Some may not, you may not have output files on most of the assignments till we get, I think, to maybe to chapter 11 or 12. So what? That would just be output files, nothing on it. Now, this is somewhere where students get caught up too. They don't want to do the work. Data dictionary. The data dictionary of a program, I want the variable, function, data files, structures, classes, whatever. Any user-defined item, I want you to tell me what it is. Now, this is the thing. We writing programs dealing with functions. I want the detailed description of every variable grouped by every function. Give you an example. If I have a main function, my main function, I have variables in it. I have to do main, which is my main function, and tell and list every variable and what it does, the data type in it. But then the main function is calling another function. The name of that function, what it does, and then list every variable that you're using in that function. Even if it's a variable that you previously using, if it's a global variable and you're using it in the main and in that other call function, I want it listed in each one of those functions. Everybody understand that? Every variable that you create, I want you to tell me what it is and what it's used for. All right? Now, don't worry about the printed part because this is an online class. But like I say, I want you to submit this with your document. I mean, with your your source code. There's going to be a assignment by itself with half of the programming point. All right, and then the program, which was worth 25, and the program worth 25. Any questions about this, class? Any questions? All right. Now, I'm gonna go down to talk about the makeup week. Then I'm gonna come back and talk about the program that we have for today. All right. So let's look, and like I say, pretty much everything test. Read chapter a quiz, or read chapter. Give you 5 points to say yes, I've read the chapter. All right. PowerPoint links. Now these PowerPoint links is in I think in my yeah, it's in my class. See, that comes from my webpage. So you could go through these, and like I said, it comes from the book, come from the chapters of the book, and they just give you information about the different features of C++ that I want you to know about. But like I said, you can read the book also. All right. Now, then you got your document, your program, your document, your program. But the thing is, you probably will want to do the program first, and then because you may change things to get it right. So when you submit when you get your program right, then you complete your data dictionary and whatever in your documentation. All right, but you know your cover page, your statement of the problem, those things are consistent because that doesn't change. All right, you can have those ready and done before you finish the program. All right, so and all these are going to be consistently the same. The chapter, material on the chapter, and an assignment to do with, or two assignments to do within the chapter. When we get to week 8, in week 8, where is that? Where is that? My practice fund. Because now, let me see if I have it. Yeah, here we go. The practice final. The practice final is a test that grabs like 15 questions from the chapter, or from a pool of all of the chapters that we've taken, and allow you to see what you need to learn. Now, it will not tell you what you missed, but it'll tell you how many you got right or wrong. So you can go back and say, oh, I think I missed this question. I need to go back and read up on this. I need to read up on that. I need to read up on that. So it kind of gets you to see somewhat of what you need to go back and study for. All right. I need to add it because I talked about the makeup week, and this would be the makeup week. And what I would do here, I would make available all tests and all quizzes on the chapters. Give you one extra attempt to get to improve your grade during that week from the 18th to the 20th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. So you would have an extra chance to what? Boost your grade. Now you say, well, why you do that, Mr. Sylvester? In chapters, like say we do something in chapter 1, but then we continue to do it as we move on from chapter 1 to chapter, say what? I say 1, but chapter 7, and we move on to chapter 12. By the time you get to chapter 12, you've used it and you've kind of got the grasp of it. So when we get to the end of the semester, you might have a better understanding of how to and what. So when you take the test again, now you may do better. So that's why I kind of give you an opportunity to take the test over. And like I say, hopefully you can make a better grade, because what? I'm grading you on what you understand rather than what you understood in that little small time frame. All right. So that's why I do that. But I'll post that, and if I don't, somebody remind me to during the weeks coming. Hey, Ms. Sylvester, when will you post the practice exams for us to whatever? And then I'll go in on it and make sure I get that done, because I want you to be able to, not to practice the extra attempts. All right. Now, any other questions? Let's look at our program. All right, let's look at our program. Let's look at the first program. What I did, I said, well, the first program, I say, some people sent me some information there. There's a vessel, this, that, whatever. So I say, well, let me write a program similar to it, but not exactly like it, but I'll be able to explain it to them. So let's look at this. Now, some people had issues with this. It says program 1. So when they look at ending in odd number, ending in even number, it's like, Mr. Vessel, we have to do both programs? No. What it's saying is, if a student's ID number ends with an odd number, you do this program here. You do this part, and then you skip down, and this is the specifications. If it's even, you do this part, and then you continue with this. All it's saying is, a student that has an odd number at the end, they will find the average of 5 test scores. So they find in the average, the average of each student. All right. If it's even, if your ID number ends with an even number, then the class average, you're finding, find the class average for 15 test scores. So what that means? 15 test scores for the class. So that's one person, second person, third. So all these people, you finding that average of these people. Here you find the average of that one person, all right? But this one you find in the average of these 15 numbers. So now, I gave you some specifications though. It tells you that you ought to have 3 separate arrays, all right? But if you look here, you're gonna have a student array, which is of 15. You're gonna have a scores array, which is gonna be 15 by 5. So that means that's a 2-dimensional array. I don't know if anybody caught on to that. So that's gonna be a 2-dimensional array. And then the average, depending on your ID, the ID number, if it's odd, the array ID gonna be 15. If it's even, you find in the class average, that's gonna be 5. You understand? So that's why you see 15 or 5 here, right? So now it says initialize in code. Now, what that means, that you are going to create an array for students and give each individual name that's going to be, those 15 names that's going to be in the array. So you're initializing the array. You're not reading the names from the data file. I wrote it where I read the name. So I did it that way because I don't want to give you exactly what the code is. The scores. Now the scores, you're supposed to read from the data file. So what are you reading from the data file? You're reading in five scores on 15 different lines, right? So your data file should be number, 15 different times going down, all right? So no matter which ID you have, you're gonna read in a 15 by 5 2-dimensional array for scores. But depending on your number, you're gonna calculate the average for each student or the average for the class on each test. And that's gonna be calculated and then stored. So it says, excluding the main function, your program should have 3 additional functions that will, number 1, get the scores, not the name, get the scores, calculate the average, all right? And then display the name, the score, and the average. The scores and the average, all right? So then I gave you this, okay? You gotta have the 3 functions. What are the properties of the functions, all right? The name of the function should be get, and then whatever your initials are, all right? For the get, it should be called from the main, and you should pass the scores array and add data to the array, all right? So you're gonna pass the data to the other array. Now, here we go, the calculate average. You're gonna call it calc and the first initial, last initial, all right? You're gonna call it from the main, and then you're gonna pass the scores, all right? With the scores gonna be passed, the 2-dimensional array gonna be passed, and then you're gonna add the average, because you're gonna calculate the average once the array has been passed, and then you're gonna add the averages to the array, to the average array. And then the output, you're gonna be called from the main, and you're gonna pass the student array, you're gonna pass the scores array, and you're gonna pass the average array, all right, and print. So, and now, this is a sample of what the output should look like. You got a heading, name, score 1, score 2, score 3, score 4, score 5. And if your ID was odd, you print out the average, all right, of each student. But if your ID ended with an even number, then you print out the name, the score 1, score 2, score 3, score 4, score 5, but you're printing out the what? The average of each score, each test score. I mean, class test, a class average. So that's basically what the program was. Anybody got questions so far? Questions? All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna close solution. Close that solution. And let me open, what I call it? I call it 194 something. I think that's what okay. I think this is it. I can move this over. All right, so if we look here, all right, first of all, if you look here, header.h, what does that mean? That means I'm calling this header file to say what? Read the information, and that would be what? Your name, the course name, my name, the due date. Remember the header file, all right? Now, the text file. If you look, what I did, I read in the names. You didn't have to do that. And I read in what? 3 test scores. So if you're looking at this, I got 3 test scores, and how many students I have? 10. So what would be the dimension of my scores array? Normally your array starts, a 2-dimensional array, go row and column. How many rows I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many columns? 1, 2, 3. So my scores array should be 10 by 3. All right. Now, how do you recognize the elements in the array? Well, you start with 0 with your row, and you start with 0 with your column. So this first one would be row 0, column 0. So this would be score sub 0, sub 0, right? Row 0, column 0. Row 0, column 1. So this would be row 0, column score sub 0, sub 1, and this would be score sub 0, sub 2. But then we move down here, this would be row 1. So this would be row 1, column 0. So it would be score sub 1, sub 0. Score 1, sub 1. Score 1, sub 2. And on. Score 2, sub 0, 2, sub 1, 2, sub 2. You understand? So that's how the information is being inputted as you go into the array. So let's look at the source code. So I have Owlman IP, that's just manipulating the format of my numbers. I have F-stream. F-streams allow me to read my data from my input. Read my data, all right, but as what? Input, IF-stream, all right? So I got F-stream and I have string. If I got string, that means I'm what? I have string data in my program. So using namespace, I created 2 constant variables, row 10, columns 3. So now, if we look at our main program, well, before we get to the main, and I'm gonna go back here, but I wanna look at this first. IF stream in data. What that says that I'm creating an input file object called in data. So rather than me using CN to input my data, I will use in data to read in the data from a data file. What data file I'm reading from? Well, that depends. So I have to know where I'm getting the data. So get data, I'm passing name, scores, and average, all right? Because I did what? String name 10. So that's 10 elements in name. Int scores, rows, column. So that means score is gonna be 10 by 3. All right, yours is gonna be what? 15 by 5. Everybody got the concept. All right, everybody got that concept. You got 15 students with scores, but then they got 5 scores. So that would be 15 by 5, rows and columns. Then the average depends on your ID. But what I did, the first one, I'm getting the average of each row, all right? The second one, average 2, I'm getting the average of each column, all right? So this one's gonna do the rows, which is equal to 10, in my 10, and then in the columns, it was 3. But remember, you don't have to do the columns and the row average. You just have to do one or the other. But I'm putting them both in there to show you the example. All right, so hopefully you got that picture in mind. I'm just doing it both ways so we can see it all together. All right, calling my head file. All right, and then I'm calling get data, but I'm passing what? Name, which is an array of 10. Passing scores, which is on a 2-dimensional array, 10 by 3. And then I'm passing average. All right, now you got to understand, average was the one with the rows, so that's the one going across. So I'm getting the average of each student average, all right? Then if you look at the second one, I'm putting the data, I'm passing name, scores, and average. That's to put the average of each score, each student. But then I got a column average, I call it COL AVG, and I'm passing scores, and I'm passing average 2. Because what? I already got the data. I don't have to try to get the data all over again. So I already have the data in my program. So now I want to calculate the average of each column. So now I'm passing the score, and I'm passing average 2 to get the average of the columns. And then I'm putting the col average, because I've already outputted what? The name, scores, and the other average. All I want to do is print out the average of underneath each column. So now, let's look at what those functions have. Let's look at this prototype. Notice we have void get data. So I'm calling the names, which is a string array. So this saying I'm passing a string array. Int, and this saying I'm passing a 2-dimensional array with the columns width of 3. And then another int array, which is my average. All right, put data, I'm passing my string array, my 2-dimensional array, which is my scores, and then my average. But then here, for the column average, I don't have to worry about the name because it's already ran in and it's already printed. So now I'm trying to print the column. So now I'm calculating print the column. So now I'm reading in my 2-dimensional array because I got to process it to get the average of the column. All right, so I'm reading in my 2-dimensional scores array, and then which I'm passing, and then I'm passing my my array to get my column average. And then here I'm just going to call my column average and print it, because I don't need to print the scores again because they're already printed in the order that they should be. So now, if we go down here, let's see what, I'm gonna move this down some. Let's see what our array our function definition look like. See if I can make it a little smaller. Hopefully you can still see it. All right, so my get data. In my get data, which you will not have this because your what? String should be already what? Defined or declared or initialized in the main function. You will only have the what? Whatever your score and your 2-dimensional, right? So you pass, you don't give that value, but you give your column value. Now, this was set as global, so it's gonna know what that is. When I go down here, it's already done. And then int average is gonna pass the average function into that function. This is gonna pass the score array into that function and store it into SR. All right. So now I just had something saying enter get data. You don't have to put that. That's just like a check to say, oh, I've entered into my get data. But then I had to do what? I need to open in data.open text.txt. Oh, this is text.txt, which is my file. So I opened it, but we know that knowing that is open for what? Input. Why we know that? Because I use what? IF stream. If I would have used OF stream, I could only open it for output. All right. So it's open for input, but then notice this. Scratch this. This is a comment. But look, to accomplish your program, you should have used a nested loop. All right. Now, the rows and the columns. So here I have for int x equals 0, x less than rows, which is what? In my case, 10, your case, 15, x plus plus. So it's going to do that 15 times. But, so each time it comes through, I'm reading in a name. Then for int y equals 0, y less than columns. So the first one I did x to rows and then y to columns. So next, when I start with 1 for x, then I fall in here and do what? 0, 1, 2 for columns. Then kick back up, y becomes 1. Then that'll be what? 1 sub 0, 1 sub 1, 1 sub 2. Then go back, x is 2, 2 sub 0, 2 sub 1, 2 sub 2. So you see how that nested loop will allow you to process your data, your information of that two-dimensional array with ease. All right. So notice what happens, and what I'm gonna try to do. Can I pull it out? Can I pull this out here? All right. Yeah, I'll pull that out here. So look, when x is 0, I fall into this loop here. I set my total to equal to 0. It reading in name sub x. So it's gonna read in Bill, okay? Because what? Bill sub 0 as the first one. Then it says for y equals 0, y less than columns. Columns in my case is 3. So in that the score sub 0, 0. So 0 sub 0 is 100. But what? I haven't reached 3 yet. So y gonna increment to 1? 0 sub 1, because x is still 0. 0 sub 1 is 84. Then, and like I say, each time it's going through, it's adding each one of them to total. So it keep adding to total. The third time through, y becomes 2. So that's 0 sub 2. Okay, that's 90. All right, then it adds it to total. But what happens? Now it's 3, I kick out. So now average sub x, which is the first row, so x is 0, average sub 0 is equal to total divided by column. So whatever this total was divided by 3, gonna give me my average sub 0. So that means what? Average sub 0 is whatever that is. Then it kicks out of that loop and it goes back to the for loop here, and x becomes 1. And you start the process over. Oh, set total equal to 0, because I'm working with what? A new set of numbers. And then what? In data, name sub 1. All right, name sub 1 is Susan. All right, but then now we fall into this loop and we go from 0 to 3. 0 to 2, 0, 1, 2, and adding it each time. Then get the average, and then we kick back out, x becomes 2. So you see what happens? That nested loops allow that to happen. All right? Questions? Anybody? Questions? All right, so put data. So let's look at the put data. To put the data, well, yeah, because it calculated it read it in and calculated it. All right. And like I say, I got it and calculated it. Now, all you have to do if you wanted to calculate it was just take this, take this part out and just manipulated the loop again to calculate. But I did it all in the read, in the get. All right. Now, to put the data, where's my, all right, so to put the data, what I did, I'm gonna mess up. All right, to put the data, Okay, enter to put whatever. But anyway, I pass what? The name array. I pass the scores array. And then I pass the average array. And if you read, you got to remember an array, when you pass an array, anything that's done in that array, modifications or whatever, is actually done to the original array. When you return back to that call function, whatever you done to the array in that function that was called is automatically done to the original array. So you don't have to make modifications or look to see, oh well, this didn't change. It would automatically change because it's working on dealing with addresses rather than that physical number. Like when you do int x and you try to use pass x and use it and return back, that's different. You have to pass it as reference. And when you're using arrays, you pass it in a sense as reference. So it's modified. All right. Now, so I'm printing out the name, all right? But look, same difference. Two-dimensional array, right? J starting at 0, going to rows, Y going from 0 to columns. So starting at 0, all right? I'm printing out name sub 0. Then I'm gonna print out from Y 0 sub 1. I mean 0 sub 0, 0 sub 1, 0 sub 2. So you're gonna print out those three numbers. All right, kick out, print out name sub 1, then what? Score sub 1 sub 0, 1 sub 1, 1 sub 2. Kick out, going back. J is 2. You're printing out name sub 2, and then score sub 2 sub 0, 2 sub 1, 2 sub 2. Kick out, and all until it get to the last one. So that's the simplest way with two-dimensional arrays, using the nested loop, where the outer one is the rows and the inner one is the columns. Now, so that prints out the actual name and scores, all right, and even the average. Because when I printed out the name, I printed out the name first, all right, here, right here. Then I'm printing out 1, 2, 3, but I'm still in that name sub, well, that J is still 0 until we get back to this loop here. So I'm printing out average sub 0 on that same line, and just over some. And then J becomes 1, printing out name sub 1. Then we go in 1 sub 0, 1 sub 1, 1 sub 2, and then we print out average sub 1. All right, so on and on and on. But then let's look to see what happens when we have to calculate the average for the columns. All right, class. It's very simple. It's just a simple trick of taking your inner loop and making it manipulate the from the outside, and the outer loop is within. So look, we have our our nested loop. We're doing our columns. We have our nested loop, but this time the columns is on the outside, the outer loop, and the rows is the inner loop. Well, you say, well, Mr. Russell, what would that do? Well, let me show you. Let me pull up that this column thing again. This. All right, so what happens? So if we're working with columns, what we want to do, we want to go from here to 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 here and get an average. So how we do that? For Y equals 0, Y less than columns. I have 3 columns, but I have 10 rows. But then I fall in here and I set total to 0. For X equals 0, X less than rows. But then you got to notice in here, in data, row, and column. All right. Well, yeah. This is a row and column. So now what happens? I'll say, okay, for Y is equal to 0, so Y is 0, and X is equal to 0 going to rows. So I say at Y is 0, start here. Then I fall into the next loop, all right? X is 0, so that means what? X sub 0, Y sub 0, all right? Then it's gonna say what? X sub 1, Y sub 0. So I'm staying on the same column. So I'm going 1 sub 0, 0 sub 0, 1 sub 0, 2 sub 0, 3 sub 0, 4 sub 0, 5 sub 0, 6 sub 0, 7 sub 0, 8 sub 0, 9 sub 0, kicking back out. Then this becomes 1. So now I go to the next column. So, and then I fall into the X loop. So that's X is 0. So it's going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, wait, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. So I'm staying what? On that same column. And the only thing I had to do was what? Swap out the inner loop with the outer loop. And that allows me to go straight down and do every what? Column. So that's the little trick. And like I say, when I get to the end, I get the total, but I divide by what? The number of rows and get that average. And then what? All I need to do is print out what? I don't need to print out name and whatever. It's already printed. All I need to print out is what? Average of whatever. All right. And so for X equals 0, X less than column, I want to print out average sub 0, sub 1, and sub 2, and I'm finished. So now let's look at the results. All right. Let's see what the results look like. Let me put this back here and go to source. And if we do it, I'll just do a debug. So look what happens. Let me bring this up again. All right, and then I'll bring this up. All right, so let's look at what happens. So what happened? Name Bill. What's the score? 100, 84, 90. What's the average? Bill's average, 91. All right. Susie, 83, 92, 88. See, I'm matching this with this. I got to, your data got to match. When you're reading in the data, you got to make sure it matches. All right. And then it's your average. So these are all the averages for each student. But then when you look down here, all right, these are the averages for each test score. All right. So if I look here, I got what? 100, 83, 88, 100, 90, 73, 82, 98, 70, and a 0, which averages to a 78. All right. And then I got this average and this average. All right. Any questions? Anybody with any questions? So that's how the program was to be. Well, I wouldn't say written because I did some other stuff to do it a little different from the way you should, but you should have some of the concepts of what goes on in the program because I showed you, how to, all right? So anybody with any questions? Questions? Hello? Now, what I could do, I could post this assignment, this program, and allow you to look at it. And like I say, look at your program to see if you can fix your program. But like I told you, some of the stuff I did is not warranted in your program because, like I say, you don't have to get the string data. All right, the data should be what? Declared in the program or initialized in the program. And then, like I say, you're not putting the rows and the columns. You just putting, depending on your ID, you're putting in the column or averages, or you're putting in that row average. All right. So you can't take this and copy it for verbatim and use it, but it's set up to where you can see some of the features that you need and to help you to do your program. All right. Questions? Anybody with questions? Any questions?
Will program 1 be open again?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I said I could post this, and your program is not identically, the same as this one, but you can use some of the concepts that's in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
To do your assignment.
That would be very helpful.
Okay, all right. And like I said, mine is a 10 by 3, yours 15 by 5, for the scores. And like I said, what I did, I printed the averages for both. No, you ought to print the average for the one that depended on what your ID is. I read in the string, you are supposed to initialize the string. So stuff like that, that you should be mindful of when you're looking at this. All right. So and what I'll do, what today is, today is Monday. I'll leave it open till Wednesday. All right. I can leave the and like I said, I didn't look at. Let me look at the other assignment. The other one is dealing with vectors. The other assignment, I think it's vectors. Now, the one thing I'll say about the vector assignment is that let me open it. All right, with the vector assignment, and I don't know if you did it or not. Oh, is it vector? Yeah. With the vector assignment, some people, and you may have, may not have, you may have written a program and you created a vector of 10 elements when you created the vector. And then you went back and just as hypothetical, you may have done it, may not have. And then you went back and started a loop to input the data into the vector. And what you did was a pushback. When you create a vector of 10 elements and you do a pushback to add 10 more, what you've done is you added the 10 elements after the first 10. So when you go back and try to do a loop and say for x equals 0, x less than 10, process this information, it will process nothing because the first 10 elements is blank. If you got what I'm saying. But if you create an empty vector and then did a pushback, then it's starting at 0, and now you can go back and do your subscript from 0 to whatever. But if you create a vector with 10 empty spaces in it, and then add 10 more to it, and then try to, with data, and then try to implement the first 10, you will be always implementing 0 data that's not done. All right. So that was a kind of key for that one, to make sure you understood that one. All right. So I'll open them both. Like I said, I don't know if you have to or whatever, but I'll open them both. And so like I said, make sure you use the Ironman IP in this one so that you have your decimal places on your amounts and whatnot. All right. So if there's no other question, what else? I showed you the assignments. I mean, the signing of the role, or online GDB. You can use online GDB, but online GDB let you get away with a lot of stuff. I just rather you use the Xcode or the visual. But like I say, if you use the online GDB, it should work. It'll work. But like I say, certain things that will let you get away with that the other compilers won't. Because it's a watered down version. All right. So any other questions?
I had a question about the sign-in. Is it the summer 8 or?
Yeah, summer 8. Did you do summer 8?
Yes, sir.
Right.
I also had an issue because I was in your previous class.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Let me look at that right quick.
I just made a new email, but it gave me the same login and everything. But trying to use my old email with the account that I made for the previous.
The email should have worked. The login that should have gave you issues.
And no, the email too. It said it was in an invalid format, which it was. I checked it a couple times.
What you had now? The only thing with the format, you could have had a space somewhere at the beginning or the end. Some people they'll type and they'll hit the space bar.
I checked it on the end, but I didn't check it on the beginning. But
okay, yeah. So did you register? What's your name?
Brady Adams.
Yeah. See, I don't see you. Let me it say you registered though?
Yeah, I couldn't sign in for the role because it said it has to be on Tuesdays.
Right.
But let me double check. But yeah, I definitely signed in with a new email.
You didn't see your name here? Oh no, this is the wrong class. Oh, okay, let me see something. Let's see. Did I go through the attendance with y'all? I talked about it. Let's look. These are the people. Yeah. See, these are, what's your name? Brady what?
Brady Adams. Yeah, it still doesn't have me in there.
And then, like I said, you might have the wrong semester.
I did
Summer
let's
8?
see. Yeah, I did summer 8. I did 2021,
We'll see. Let's see.
and then semester 1, right? Or course selection.
Section, yeah. Course section, yeah. Yeah, course section is 1. We'll see what you put in there. We'll find it. Let's see. I have to go to my table.
Or try my old email.
Yeah, not the email though. You shouldn't have to log in with the
Yeah,
email.
it says login already exists too.
But
for-
you logging in with the email?
No, I'm logging in with my first initial, last initial.
Oh, okay. All right, let me see something. And what's your name? Let me do a search. Last name?
Brady Adams.
Okay, let's see something. Let's see something. That's you here?
Yeah, that's the second email that I used for this one.
All right, let's see something. Is that the one you want? That's the right one?
The email doesn't really bother me, but yeah, that
Okay.
should be fine.
Okay, let's see something. Let's see what you use here. What is it? It's summer what? Yeah, summer 8, 2001. So let's see what section you use. Section 1. Wait a minute. Rated Anna. So BA. And why didn't it show?
I couldn't sign the role, but yeah, I didn't.
Right,
show
let me
in your
see it.
role list.
Let me, you must have, did you just do it?
Yeah, I did it with like a couple hours ago.
Let me see something. But I just got into it. Let's see. I don't see Brady Adams, right?
I don't see mine either, but I signed in right when the class started.
I don't
And what's your name,
recognize any of those.
Kelly
names.
Hurd, Heard.
Yeah, I don't
Wait
see
a minute,
mine as
wait.
well.
I'm still in the wrong one. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute. This is 194. Yeah, all right. Hold up. Let me get this straight. I was in the wrong class. That's it. All right, here we go. All right, okay, Brady, up you there. And Kelly, what's your name? How you spell your last name?
Heard.
Okay. All right, Brady, you there? All right.
All right, cool.
So you should be straight for tomorrow, right? Everything is predicated on Tuesdays,
Mhm.
right? Miss Hurd, let's see something. Let me go back. Do a search. That's KELLYHERD. Okay, Miss Hurd. Okay, that's right. Okay. Miss Kelly. You had summer, see here? You got summer 4A. So let me see something. Let me edit.
Yeah, and I don't see mine either.
Who is that? Who's that just said that?
That was Devin.
Okay, so let's see, Miss Hurd. Let me continue. Okay, you see it, Miss Hurd? Miss Hurd, you got it?
Thank you.
Yeah, you said. Now, Mr. Who?
Devin Skips.
How you spell Skips? It's,
SKIPPS.
okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Skips. Okay, okay. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you got then you got the wrong year too.
Oops.
Yeah, we'll get it. We get it straight. Okay, let's say that's right. 8 and 2021. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. This boy here. Continue. Rollbook. Okay. What's your name, Kevin? What? What's your name, Kevin? Who? Oh no, it's a good
Devin Skips. Yeah,
Oh,
that looks like the wrong.
Yeah, the wrong class, man. I'm still dealing with the other club. Okay, here we go. Skips. There we go. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're in there. All right. Yeah, so I have that. So anybody else with any kind of issues or whatever, anything else. Like I said, make sure anytime during the day even like I said, you wake up 4 in the morning on tomorrow, sign the roll and all whatever. Make sure you get it out the way and stuff. And then like I said, make sure you do the work. Any questions? Questions? I said, hold on, GDB, I talked about the syllabus. Okay. All right. And let me do that before I get off, because I'll say I'm gonna do it, and then when I get off, I don't do it. I'm gonna go in and go to the modules, and am I in student view? Yeah, student view, and I'll go down here for week 1. Okay. And what happens is, like, when you have an assignment, I know I'll always grade the most recent one, and that's how to have it listed. And so you can submit it 10 times, but the most recent one is the one I'll grade. And so don't be worrying about, oh, well, I submitted 4 or 5 times and all whatever. The very last one, that's the one I'll grade. Okay, so what I said Wednesday today, okay. So Wednesday. And what I'll do also, like I say, I'll post the program that I have, so you can look at it as a reference. Okay, I'll tell you what. Can I do it here? Yeah, I'll do it here. I'll go on the next one. Okay, edit. Okay, what I'll do here. Sample program here. Here we go. All right, so that's the fun. Hopefully the attention. Okay, so yeah, I think you got it. And I'm gonna change the date. So I just put it at the top so y'all be able to see it at the top when you go to the sun. Okay, so and somebody could just check to see if when they click on, I could check myself. Can you preview it? Wow. I'm taking a long time. Why? Somebody see, can they open it? I'm trying. It might be trying to open it in Visual Studio. Okay. Take that out. I'll put it beneath the header. All right, so that's the code. So I just pasted it below. All right. All right, so that's good. Save that. Next. All right, that's the last one. Ah. PM. Let's go. All right. So, all right. So I changed the dates and everything, and I think that was it. I didn't get caught up in the middle of stuff. All right. So that was changed. Okay. Signing of the roll on tomorrow. On TDB. Okay. All right. So I think I got everything done. So like I said, I increased the date. Yeah. All right. So your test, like I say, you take your test anytime between today and Friday. I mean, and Saturday. All right. Any other questions? Anybody with questions? Any questions? All right. If there's no questions, like I say, do my work. You know, if they reach out to me, whatever issues, whatever, don't hesitate or whatnot. And like I say, I'll try to assist you. And like I say, on programs, I'll try to guide you to where the problem is, but not tell you exactly what it is that you need to change. But I'll assist, depending on how bad the issue is. All right. Sometimes start over. Yeah, I'll tell you start over. Okay. Any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Questions? If there's no questions, like I say, have a good semester. And do my work. Take your test. Have a good one.
You too.
You too.
All right.